Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marchello Currence rain back up in this. So we covered in part one, two about the karma computer. So everything that's done, how it works, how we have it's nothing we can have anyone do for us when we do certain things. We can let things go, and it's still going to happen because the karma computer does not discriminate. It does not care if you're black. It does not care if you're American. It does not care if you have dreams and aspirations. It does not care about any of those things. All it looks at more importantly is your character and what you actually are doing. You could be an aspiring basketball player, an aspiring tennis player, an aspiring golf player. But if you do certain things, the karma computer is going to bring back what you deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. So, this is where America is at. The black community um, have been killing rough really strongly for what? Here we are, 30 to working on 40 years. Working on 40 years, just about 40 years of straight black on black crime, killing, shooting, and everything. We're close to, I would say it's about 35 solid years. About 35 solid years of straight up black on black crime. And I think it's just the karma computer is just at the point where it's just now giving particularly the black community what they deserve. You can't keep ignoring and turning blind eyes and deaf ears to different things. You can't keep doing it. So now here you are in 2021, people still saying do better, and you don't have any of your leaders really rising up and saying it's time that this stops today. It's time that this stops. They're not saying anything to that extent. You know, you have certain people that's saying things, but the state of urgency is not there. So, what's it's going to be very shocking what's going to happen. You know, I don't know. It's going to be very shocking because all of this goes up to, I'm gonna put it this way. When I say it this way, all of these actions go into the spiritual world and are brought back. And now that things have been done in COVID-19 times, now that these things have been done in COVID-19 times, it's a whole nother level of COVID to reap. The gang stalking, the games that they've played, the Illuminati games, the American government games, calling themselves the Illuminati. The American government is done. They're not going to outlive this. What they've done against me and the body of Christ, they're not going to outlive it. You know, so, I received a prophecy in July 25th, 2019, that America is expired. So now, it's 2 years later. Look at the country. And I received this prophecy that was, what, 7 months before COVID? About 7 months before COVID. And there was no indications of anything, of any state of emergency in America or anything. So, this is another reason, I know it's not going to get any better because it's expired. America's expired. She has finally done too much to go on, and what you're going to start seeing is all parts of families, men, women, and children, all suffering because of what America did, and some people would say, let it go. It's not about whether I let it go. We're in war. That's what this is where Christians get taken lightly. I'm in a real war. We're bringing about real casualties. You understand? People are they're leaving the earth because of what has been done to me. So, it's not about letting it go. Like I tell people this, it's no forgiveness in war. When you're in war, there is no forgiveness. Nobody's sitting on the battlefield saying, oh, I need to forgive these people. Who's thinking about that? In a real war, where there's a conflict literally between two forces. You think someone is on the battlefield saying, oh, please, let me forgive them. You're not even going to be heard. And when people and forces are relentless against you, your forgiveness will fall on deaf ears. But your forgiveness is between you and God, But war is still it's no way around it. Americans are just not used to seeing casualties at alarming rates and having to suffer. They're spoiled people. They think that there's always a way out, and it's not. Sometimes it's just not a way out. Sometimes it's just not a way out. And sometimes that is justice. That there is no way out. That is justice. And so in real war, when things are done, the karma computer is going to say, well, they did this, they did that, this many people did this, they joined these people together to play this type of game with this person, and so it's not going to give back to the community a pass. You think the karma computer per se is just going to say, well, let's just let it go? So, because really when you're telling me to let it go, what you're telling me is we want it to stop. You're not really worried about my forgiveness. You're not concerned really about me. You're concerned about you. You're concerned about it stopping. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. You are not worried about my state of being. You're not concerned about me as a person. You're looking at what's going on and you want it to stop. No. Even the karma computer is still going to give people what they deserve. The karma computer is still going to bring death and destruction on people that's bringing death and destruction on each other. The American government conspired against the greatest leader in this country, and people would say, let it go. Why? Why to let it go? What is letting it go going to do? What is forgiving necessarily? I'm just saying, you can forgive. Okay, so what happens? It all gets let go. Nothing happens because we forgive. Sorry. I'm sorry. There are people in the earth that walk around and feed on people with forgiveness in their hearts. They feed on people that let things go. You gotta understand the nature of the people that you're dealing with. The people that killed Martin Luther King was telling people to let stuff go. Martin Luther King was letting things go. Martin Luther King was a person that was teaching forgiveness. You see where I'm going with this? So this time, forgiveness is not even, with the karma computer, is not even the element of a satellite or issue or dynamic that is discussed. It's just war. That man forgave. That man let things go. That man taught people to let things go, and they killed him. He was totally innocent. He was a totally innocent person. You know, and the greatest leader here. Now, whether I get along with the black generations that's here now, because I tell people this, and I'm going to keep it very real when I say this. Your loyalty to the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and the first generation of Africans can be separated from your loyalty to the Africans that are presently here in this country, because they're killing each other. They've been doing it for decades. They've been destroying each other for decades, and God is not going to hold you to be in unity or further a cause of a collectively speaking of a community that is destroying each other. That's not good. God is, I know my Lord. I know my Lord. And while you're being nonchalant about all of this, God is not. Okay? And so you have people like me. I've forgiven black people for calling my mom a nigger. I've forgiven a black person for telling me to go back to my home country. Yeah. I've forgiven all there's been, many other things has been done. Even to a disease, everything I could look at. A lot has been done. You know, and it comes a place in time in history. It always does. It always does. Where people are held in large amounts. Massive amounts of people are held responsible for their collective brain. For their collective brain. The collective brain of America has to pay. Because you've been nonchalant about all of this going on. Yes, you have. You've been totally nonchalant about everything. Kids being killed. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. What do you think God is doing? Holding on to people that's killing people? When they're holding secrecy, oaths, You want to talk about oaths? You conspiracy theorists want to talk about oaths. Let's talk about the oath of secrecy that the black community holds when it comes to conspiring against one another. Those are oaths, and those oaths are not holy. Those oaths are satanic. So while you're acting like you have power to do this, that, and the third, God is about to take all of that. While you're trying to qualify leaders, you're disqualified yourself. How are you qualifying leaders these days when you're killing people these days? How are you in the position to qualify anybody when you have not disqualified your community? This is not some side issue. This is not some excuse to fight against the black community. This is not some issue that is a side piece to a full course meal of issues. And that's what you're acting like. Someone is picking a quarrel with you. When every time you look at Facebook, the news, killing after killing after killing, which will conclude to a person, anybody having something to do with you or not, loving or hating you or not, that you have by far become the biggest problem in this country. You can take it how you want to take it. But when we talk about death, real death now, where else is it happening in America? Large amounts of death. Where else is it happening? Explain that to me. So what you're doing, a lot of you black people, what are you doing is going, and look, I'm not racist, but I gotta keep it, I gotta call it like I see it, I gotta keep it 100 how I see it. You run into master when people like me come. You run into master to protect you. Master, he talking about me. Master, he doing this, he doing that. That's what you're doing. You have become enslaved in your thinking. Yeah. But you are slaves to many things, and there's still, but I want to say, most importantly, that is a type of it's something really low in frequency and in vibration as far as slavery and the master that never stopped. It's subtle, it's low in frequency, but it's still there. And what you want to do, so you're telling me it's totally gone? You're telling me all frequencies, spiritually speaking here now, all frequencies, all vibrations, all that energy is totally wiped away from the relationship between white America and black America. There's none of that energy there. It's nowhere to be found. Come on, man. So what Master have told you, this is not for all people. This is not for all white people. But there still is a low frequency master vibration going on. Yeah. So the frequency of the slave with the frequency of the master still meets. It still communicates. And so when somebody like me comes along to show you really how you need to be free, to show you really what we've all said for years, is that you're doing the work of Ku Klux Klans. You're doing the work of all, and they don't have no need to attack you because you're very good at killing yourselves. But you still are going and communicating with Master when you got people like me. Oh well, let's fight them. Let's do this. Let's do that. You going to Master to do that. That low frequency, that still subtle communication of frequency that y'all have between each other, that's when you communicate to him when you're in trouble. Because you in God trouble. You now in God trouble. I can't get you out of it. The karma computer is over the master frequency. The white America master frequency. The karma computer is going to rain down on everybody. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing they can do about it. You can't do nothing about a person like me. I'll be here after you gone. See the difference between me and the leaders in the past? I have faith in God, which is required, that I'm going to outlive you all. I'm going to outlive you all. And when you leave, for God's glory, I'll still be here. No matter what this country looks like, no matter how it looks, no matter what it will be a ghost country, and I'll still be here. You may laugh me to a scorn. Look at Noah. Noah was the only family saved while the rest of the people died. Everybody died. And they probably thought he was a fool. The flood came and they all died. I'm just telling you. This is what I see. So beyond your evil intentions, beyond your hate for me, which is really a hate for yourself because you produced the conflict that we have, you're gonna see that you're gonna move. All that strength that you thought you had is going to be released. And you're gonna see that you're not able to overcome someone like me. You're used to everybody being assassinated. That's what you're used to. That's what you're used to. I'm not a king. Look what they did to the last person they called king here. Yeah, let's talk about it. And that was his government name. Unlike your favorite rappers, he didn't go downtown in the whatever metropolis he was at to get his name changed. He was born named king. And you look what they did to him. No, thank you. I do not want to be a king in your country. America has never raised up any black kings. Ain't no black kings here. There are only stimulators of the economy. Let's keep it real. These are stimulators of the economy. Talk about black issues and see what they do to you. Talk about what's really going on, what's really cracking. Talk about the real issues, and you see what happened to you. As long as you play along, stimulate the economy with all your purchases, you're good. That's all they want you to do. That's why they're passing out them stimulus checks, to stimulate the economy. Long as you're a walking stimulus check for the community, that's to the rich black people. Long as you stimulating the economy, you're good. That's why if you notice, they have, how much have they talked about the homeless people during COVID? You can count on one hand how significant of an issue homeless people, because they don't, it's like they don't even exist here. And the real reality is everyone in America cannot go and look for jobs on the same day. There are not even enough jobs for every American here. No, they're not. They cannot employ every American at the same time. So while they're telling you, oh, things will work out for homeless people if they just worked, they can't all go and work at the same time. I'm just keeping it real with you. This is what they're not telling you. If every homeless person went looking for work, they wouldn't have enough openings. So what does that mean? What does that mean right there? Okay? What does that mean? That means everyone cannot be employed in your country. So what are we doing? It basically is this. People decide to work when they want to. They fall off when they want to. Quit jobs when they want to. Fall off. Other people work. Like musical chairs.